Yo, what is up? What is up? I would like to welcome you back to another episode of the Urban Renaissance Man. And I am your host, Mr. Adrian Lawson. And I'm here, ready to chop up good game as usual. Today's topic, I am going to talk about the myth of the independent black woman. Now, this show, I'm probably going to get a lot of, pushback or criticism from the ladies. But I advise them that if they have any issues with the show to, email me and we can have an intelligent conversation. You dig? So, I find that there are a lot of women, black women, who throw out this term of there being an independent black woman. And what this really kind of means, or what it has become to mean, or morphed into meaning, is that you have a black woman who so-called doesn't need a man, who can do everything by herself and doesn't need nobody to tell her shit. Basically. And if you really think about it, the definition of this is really not a positive thing. But a lot of black women have morphed it into that. But it's really not positive. It's really, when you hear these terms, especially when you hear, white people call black women independent black women, it really is a diss. It's not a positive thing. It really is a diss. It's the same thing as saying an intelligent black woman. Because when you say an independent black woman or an intelligent black woman, you are assuming that black women aren't smart or aren't independent, because you don't hear terms such as independent white woman or intelligent white woman. So this really is a diss. It's really a backhanded compliment. But you have a lot of black women out here who embrace this title of being a independent black woman. And they really should not. Because this is really not a positive trait or a positive thing to have. Why would a black woman not want to have a man in her life who then, another black man in which she could love, she could care for, she could have children with, who she could create a black family with, who she could create a life, with? Why would she not want these things? Why would she want to be alone? This is ass backwards to me. Now, I want to go deeper in this whole thing, such as being, independent. Because if you look at a lot of black women out here, a lot of them are not really as independent as they say. Now, don't get me wrong, you have some black women out here who are definitely doing their thing. They are doing their thing, man. They are, really being bosses about theirs. But these women are very few in between, And a lot of times these women don't claim or don't throw out terms such as independent black woman. The ones who are actually doing it, who are really, out here making a difference, who are really, bringing in some paper. You don't see them using this term. But let's go deeper into this whole thing of being independent. Because if you think about it, are black women, for the most part, really independent? Really? Let's think about this now. Look at the structure of black families, right? The black communities right now are in a disarray. They're in so much confusion. You have black children out here who are confused. You have black men who are confused. Now, if you look at the structure of the black community is very matriarchal, meaning there are women running it. Also, if you look at the majority of things such as resources and money that is given to black people, the majority of these benefactors are black women. Black men can't get welfare for the most part. Black men can't get food stamps. Black men can't get government assistance. Black men can't get WIC. You get my drift? Black men can't get these things. But you know who can? Black women. This is why the community is matriarchal. It's because you have the government right after, really, I would say, Reconstruction and like the feminist movement during the 60s. They started to kind of set or bring black women to the side and prop them up and give them all these resources. Even if you look at like public housing right now, if you were to get public housing, do you know that for a black woman to get public housing, a man cannot stay there? You know this, right? A man cannot stay in the house with a woman who is getting public housing. And they actually go around and check to see if men are living there. They look for things like shaving cream and boxers and, razors, things like this, to see if a man is living there. And a woman cannot get government assistance if a man is there. So you have this separation of the black family, really. So this is why I say it is very matriarchal, in that the government really has propped or put black women up, kind of propped them up, and made them feel as if they're so independent, and embrace this title that you're an independent black woman. Prop them up, but really they're receiving all these resources from other places. And this is why they feel a lot of times that they can shit on black dudes by saying, oh, I don't need a man, and black men ain't shit, and all this stuff like that, because they've been propped up by the government. The government has propped them up and gave them all these set-asides. And so now they feel like they can shit on black men. And this whole thing to where I'm independent and I don't need you. And the thing is, this is not really true. It's not really, what happens. For the most part, black women are not really that independent. If you take away all of the resources that they get that black men cannot get, how independent really are they? Is there this thing as an independent black woman? Really? Now, once again, these are just my personal opinions on the topic, and I'm sure there are opinions that differ. And I encourage any black woman out here to send me an email at the Urban Renaissance Man podcast at gmail.com if they disagree. And once again, I'm very open about, my opinions here. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack from the ladies, but I feel that in order for me to create a urban renaissance woman, since this is Women's Week and there was, Women's Day a couple days ago, I feel that I have to be truthful with you ladies. And letting you all carry on this independent black woman title is doing more of a disservice to black women and the black community than a help. So I feel that I have to just kind of tell the truth from a real perspective and just try to shed some light on things that may be kind of dark and covered up. But anyway, that has been today's episode of the Urban Renaissance Man. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, the game is to be sold, not to be told. You dig?